Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. We're going to pick two random SoulsBorne bosses. And in honor of this past 4th of July that I missed celebrating this past week, on the show anyway, because I skipped a week because I was stressed out. These two SoulsBorne bosses are going to put on a fireworks show. And whoever puts on the best fireworks show will be the winner. It's about as easy as it gets right there. And I don't like to play around with these kinds of things. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. Two SoulsBorne bosses in a battle to the death. The battlefield has been cleared. It can house any and all SoulsBorne bosses. There are almost 100 in this little generator that I've created, and it has housed at least all of them at least once, as we have seen before in the past. So we are gonna see who we are going to land on here. Godric the Grafted from Elden Ring. Godric is interesting, to be sure, especially that second phase. Of course, according to the lore, Godric is apparently a bitch. Although I say that because he basically dropped to his knees in front of Melania. But I mean, who among us wouldn't drop to our knees in front of Melania? I mean that pretty much goes without saying right there. So I guess I can't really say much about that, except that, I mean, did he really think he stood a chance against her? I mean, like, seriously. He's clearly not that bright. You know, grafting obviously doesn't affect brain power or any of that stuff. So, yeah. So, he's a pretty good boss, I think, in Elden Ring. Obviously, he's one of the earlier bosses. So, you know, not a bad boss to land on here. So, I'm not ready to fart all over this just yet. So, we're going to take this wheel for another spin. We are going to decide the opponent for Godric the Grafted in this fireworks display show, I guess, that we're going to put on. He's got a lot of hands. I guess he could put on a lot of fireworks at once, so that's kind of cool, I guess. That could work out to his advantage. It could work out to his advantage. So you never know what could happen here. So, all right, Godric the Grafted in one corner, and he will go one-on-one with Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy, who we just landed on last week in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. Same game, Elden Ring. So, this is an interesting fight. And as always, I am not allowed to give you my opinion here lest I get a letter from my legal department. So, I am going to kick it to the contractually obligated bios. So let's have a look at Godric the Grafted. Once upon a time in the land of Elden Ring, a man was born, the descendant of the Golden Lineage, which was a lineage started by Marika the Eternal and Godfrey the First Elden Lord. Unfortunately, the bloodline of this descendant was so diluted that it really didn't matter that much, and he was considered the runt of the litter. This runt was Godric the Grafted. After the Elden Ring was shattered, Godric inherited the part of the ring which is actually the center part of the ring, called the Anchor Ring, which is a fact I did not know. During the shattering, Godric was hounded from Laedel, the royal capital, and he claimed a multitude of treasures, including the Mimic's Veil, and then he hid amongst the womenfolk, which makes sense to me, I guess. With nowhere to go, Godric fled south to Limgrave, where he settled in Stormveil Castle, and he started using it as his base to set up a practice called grafting, which is using the living parts of people to basically attach them to himself. How this works, I don't know, but it works. And when the Tarnished began reappearing in the world of Elden Ring, Godric started setting up Tarnished hunts so he could use their body parts to attach to him. Godric also produced the grafted scions, who are some of the most annoying creatures in the entire game. And they appear to be body parts grafted onto children, which is just a little on the horrifying side. When Malenia marched southward in her quest to become the Elden Lord, Godric insulted her. Doesn't seem like a very good idea. And then they had a confrontation, at which point Godric ended up basically on his knees groveling before Malenia. Which, like, seriously, can you believe that? Like, this guy insulted Malenia. Like, did he really think he stood a chance? Like, people have been fricasseed for less. Stupid Godric. Godric idolized his great ancestor Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, and he desired his descendant to witness all of his feats, such as they are. And he wields an axe emblazoned with the likeness of a lion, which is Godfrey's symbol. And he also furnished his army with emblems of the golden lineage. He styled himself the Lord of all that is golden. He says this when you face him, but people still just call him Godric the Grafted because they don't respect him that much. So that pretty much tells you all you need to know about Godric and his army and how much they respected him. It really wasn't that much. All joking aside, Godric is not a boss to be taken lightly, and I can't sit here and claim too much that the grafting really helps him out a lot. I really don't know how it does, but he does have a lot of attacks at his disposal. He does wield 2 very large axes, and he has a pretty wide variety of attacks, and it can hit you from a pretty good distance. So Godric is a formidable competitor, and when you come across him in Elden Ring, he's one of the first really first early game really difficult bosses in the main story that you have to face. So I know I took quite a few tries in order to deal with him, and I know I wasn't the only one either. So, and no joke, that second phase where he grafts the lion's head to his arm is pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's pretty freaking cool. So, in that second phase, he becomes even more formidable, and it's a much bigger pain in the ass. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all you can say about Godric. Like, he's you can't take him lightly, and despite his size and his bulk or whatever, he can attack pretty quickly, and he can put you away pretty quickly. So, Godric the Grafted may be treated like a joke in the Elden world, but when you face him one-on-one, you may well be in for a long night. So you may want to keep the insulting of him to yourself until it's over. That's pretty much all I got to say about that. Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy, is the son of Radagon and Renala, and the sibling of Rani and Radon. They really like their R names over there, don't they? At some point, Radagon decided he wanted to trade up, at least in his mind, and then he left Renala to be with Queen Marika, and then Marika made all the kids demigods, so I guess that was a good deal for them. Serving under the Golden Order, Rykard was a ruthless justiciar, assuming I pronounced that correctly, probably not. he commanded a company of inquisitors who tortured those who would be against the Golden Order, more or less, such as the Albinaurics. He spent time in the volcanic lands of Mount Gelmir and also apparently traveled to a foreign land where he came back with a dancer by the name of Tanith who became his consort. Rykard's blasphemous intentions led him to assist Ronnie in the Night of the Black Knives, and Ronnie rewarded him with a slab of rock, which it was engraved with the traces of the Rune of Death, which would allow him to challenge the Black Beast of Destined Death should the, quote, coming trespass one day transpire. I would be asking for a different prize if that were me, but that's just me. That's just how I feel. When Queen Marika shattered the Elden Ring and the War of the Shattering commenced, Rykard led a blasphemous campaign against the Erdtree and the Greater Will, and the rebels came to his side. They came to be known as recusants. His ambitions made him a worthy sovereign. People wanted to follow him against the Erdtree. So, yeah, Rykard was not without his followers, that's for sure. One day, Rykard woke up on the wrong side of the bed and decided to feed himself, great rune and all, to the blasphemous servant that dwelled inside Mount Gelmir. And in the final minutes before being devoured, he had a vision of a future where he witnessed a serpent devouring the world. After being devoured by the servant, you will be shocked to find that Rykard lost his mind. He began devouring his greatest champions, and together in the belly of the serpent they became his family. And you will also be shocked to find that his forces abandoned him after this. They decided to try to find ways to put Rykard down for good, and no one was really successful. They couldn't find a way to do it. The search began for a weapon that could finally put Rykard to rest once and for all, and then the Serpent Hunter was eventually found, but still, all attempts on his life failed. The spear was eventually left in Rykard's chambers by a former recusant who had hoped that a worthy champion would come along and finally put Rykard to bed, eventually. And there Rykard resides until one day you come along and wield the Serpent Hunter and finally put him to rest once and for all. So, and then, when you actually wield the Serpent Hunter and do the fight, it kind of makes you wonder what the problem was. It's really not that difficult. I mean, it is difficult. I shouldn't say that. The Rykard fight is not without its difficulties, but once you have the Serpent Hunter, I mean, you could basically hit him from across the level. So it's like, why did you guys have so much trouble once you had a hold of the spear? I can see why you had trouble before. He's kind of basically surrounded by lava, and he can hit you from like half the distance of the entire boss level. So, yeah, I get why it would be a problem beforehand, but after, I don't really know. They must have really had problems. So, they must have really not known how to fight in order to not be able to deal with Rykard after getting their hands on the Serpent Hunter. So, that being said, as I said earlier, it's still a difficult fight in its own right. It's not like I haven't had my issues with it myself. So Rykard is always a worthy competitor, and always a welcome sight in SoulsBorne battles to the death, as long as you're not standing across the arena from him. It's a welcome sight for us, because we get to pit him against somebody and imagine who he would fight and how such fight would commence. So, yeah, Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy, is a very interesting boss, and even in the world of Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Elden Ring, there aren't too many bosses that their backstory is they get devoured by a creature, and that's their. I mean, that's not their whole story, but it's not Rykard's whole story, but that's That's basically their fate. They choose to get devoured by another creature. So, yeah, Rykard's unique, I guess, in that way, and an appearance by him is always an interesting time in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. As I said in his bio, Godric does hit pretty hard. He can hit fast. He is a formidable competitor, and he does have a lot of tools up his sleeve. However, I don't feel that he has enough tools to deal with Rykard. I think Rykard is too big. I think Rykard hits too hard, and I think Rykard can hit from too far away. So I don't think that Godric has what it takes to be able to deal with Rykard. Basically 10 times out of 10. That's how I feel. I feel that Rykard's too big, really, and being surrounded by lava doesn't really help that much. But yeah, I mean, Rykard clearly has superior range when he attacks, so I think just using that to keep Godric at bay and just being able to swing that stupid snake head around and hit Godric from basically anywhere in the level, I think, is a major advantage for Rykard. So I think Rykard wins this fight, and I think he basically wins it every time. So yeah, that is just my opinion. Feel free to leave yours in the comments. And with that, yet another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death draws to a close. RobertBlanchardBooks.com. If you're interested in the award-winning Roar of a Dragon series, you can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. If you'd like to hear more about them, the Rise of Dragons podcast, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. My Linktree, my Instagram, my Twitter, all Bobby's World 2110. Mondays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is right now the Dark Souls Remastered No Estus run. This past Monday was the Bell Gargoyles, Win or Bust. So, obviously the episode is not hours and hours long, but I did fight the Bell Gargoyles for hours and hours and hours. It's a fight them until you beat them kind of thing. So yeah, go check that out if you want to see me yell a lot. I really don't do that a whole lot. So, and back in the archives, there is the Elden Ring No Crimson Flask run, Volume 1 Limgrave. There is the Sekiro No Healing Gourd run. There is the Dark Souls 3 No Estus run, Dark Souls 3 No Level Up run. So all that and much more back in the archives if you want to go back and check that out. And Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is what you're watching right now. SoulsBorne Battle to the Death, where we pick 2 random SoulsBorne bosses and we pit them against each other, and you just watch it. I don't have to explain it to you. So yeah, more content as always. I am working on another Hunger Games. I don't know when I'm going to have time to put that together. I just haven't had time to do crap lately, and I'm so freaking tired. Yeah, just so much stuff going on. But I'm hanging in there, and I'm going to keep producing content because I'm enjoying doing it, and you guys seem to enjoy it. So, I love you guys. I appreciate your love and support very, very much. Leave a like, subscribe, notifications, and all that nonsense. So yeah, I hope everyone had a great 4th of July. As I'm recording this, it just went by. So if you celebrated, I hope you enjoyed that. I did. We had hot dogs on the grill and pasta salad and corn on the cob, and then we played Rummy Cube in the backyard for a few hours, and then we watched fireworks. So it was a perfect time. So yeah, good times. We enjoyed it. Always a good time with family. So I hope you guys did too. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So I will see you guys next time on SoulsBorne Battle to the Death, or the Dark Souls No Estus run, or wherever I happen to see you. So have an amazing week. Be well, stay safe, and as always, it's Bobby's World, and you're all just living in it. See ya, Steve alive, y'all. Bye. What's going on, guys? Thank you for checking out the video today, but I got a question for you. Did you know I wrote a book? Did you know I wrote 3 books? Did you know that they're all part of the same series? The Roar of a Dragon, The Treachery of a Weasel, and The Cry of a Raven. ReadersFavorite.com says that its intensity rivals that of the Game of Thrones series. Now, I personally think that's crazy, but it's not for me to judge. It's for you to judge. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com and you can check out the books right now. But wait, that's not all. All 3 books got 5-star reviews in ReadersFavorite.com. These books won the Silver Medal in the Literary Titan Awards. The Cry of a Raven won Silver at the Global eBook Awards. So what are you waiting for? Read about Aiden's dream to become a Knight of Delmar. Read about his death and resurrection. Oops, I gave that away, didn't I? And read about his journey back home from 3,000 years in the future to stop the evil that started in Delmar. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. And then, if you're interested, you can buy the books there as well. And if you've already read the books or you just want to hear more about them, you can check out the Rise of Dragons podcast. You can listen to it wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And in every episode, I cover a character from the book, an event from the book, my journey into writing, and everything in between. Ripley, what do you got to say about all this?
Give me a treat or I will end you.
You know she's telling you to check out the books. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com to check out the books or listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast if you want to hear about them. That's all I got to say, and thank you for watching this video.